विच इज़ वाई फोक्स ये इसका रिटर्न मैट्रिक्स कंपनी की कंपाउंडिंग क्षमता इतनी ज़्यादा है क्योंकि धुआंधार पैसा बनता है इसमें हर साल 700 करोड़ अनबिलीवेबल रिटर्न मैट्रिक्स एंड ऑल्दो कंपटीशन इंटेंस है. देवेन आपने बोला कंपटीशन इंटेंस है, प्राइस हाइक सिर्फ 1 से 2% ले सकती है डॉक्टर लाल. why haven't we seen another company operating at the scale of Dr. Lal? Barriers क्या है? Why isn't it easy to build another Dr. Lal? Welcome to Coffee and Investing with Saurab. Today we're going to discuss Dr. Lal PathLabs, the preeminent lab in northern India. This company went public 9 years ago. The stock price is up 6x since then. And if you add the dividend back, this company is compounded at 21%, substantially more than the broader benchmark. To discuss Dr. Lal with us, we have Marcellus' consumer analyst, Deven Kulkarni. Welcome to the podcast, Deven.
Thank you, Saurab. Thank you for having me here.
So, folks, Deven is a familiar name for you. He's done previous podcasts as well. I think Titan was the previous time he was on Coffee and Investing. But before I go further in Dr. Lal, just a quick disclaimer. It's part of most of our portfolios. I am invested in Marcellus' portfolios. So are my parents. So are our clients. And naturally, therefore, we have a vested interest in discussing Dr. Lal's. But let's get into Dr. Lal's, but just give us the picture of the industry, Deven. कितनी बड़ी इंडस्ट्री है, किस पेस पे ग्रो कर रही है?
Yeah, so I will start with the need for diagnostics. So diagnostics is, I'm sure every listener of this podcast in their lives has undergone a diagnostic test.
Blood test, urine test, X-ray, सबका हो चुका है. हाँ जी.
Yeah. So the basic purpose of diagnostic test is to help the doctor to treat the illness. So that's like 90-95% of how diagnostic tests are done in India. But in the last 10 years or so, and more so after COVID, there is a rise in what we call as wellness testing.
Right.
Which is people get themselves tested, annual health checkups and the wellness packages to just to keep a tab on how their health is.
मेरे लिए काफी टफ होता है, हमेशा कोलेस्ट्रॉल का कोई पंगा आता है, but you're right, it's become part and parcel of our lives.
So there is no official estimate, but annual reports of listed diagnostic players suggest that the industry is close to $10 billion in size. That's roughly 85,000 crores.
ठीक है. So around 0.4% of GDP. $10 billion, 0.4% of GDP.
Yes.
ठीक है, बड़ी इंडस्ट्री है.
Yes.
How much of this is how fast is this market growing?
So it's growing at close to 8 to 9%, largely driven by volumes because price hikes in this industry are very hard to take. So of this 8 to 9%, close to 7% is volume growth. And there is a simple way you can dissect this volume growth of 7 to 8%. So in India, the population roughly grows at 1 to 2%, but the population of elderly people, which is let's say above 60 years of age, that's growing at 3 to 4%.
That's the main driver of growth.
And that's the main cohort which gets the highest frequency of testing done. So that grows at 3 to 4%, the elderly population, and above that 3 to 4% comes from just penetration of diagnostics because of rising health awareness. And secondly, there is a rise of lifestyle-related diseases in India.
So diabetes,
chronic diseases,
cardio diseases, nervous system diseases.
So like 3-4% population of elderly cohort and 3 to 4% from penetration and rising chronic diseases. That's how the volume growth comes.
तो करीबन उस पर 1-2% प्राइस हाइक ले लेते हो,
right?
तो 9% ग्रोथ आती है इंडस्ट्री में. $10 billion की इंडस्ट्री है.
Right.
And if you were to sort of look at this industry, saying बड़े players कौन है, key players कौन है, how would you answer that?
Yeah. So the top 3 players are first is Dr. Lal PathLabs, which is roughly 2,200 crores revenue. The second player is Metropolis from Mumbai, which is close to 1,200 crores in revenue.
Right.
And the third largest player is Newberg Diagnostics from Chennai. That firm does close to 1,000 crores of revenue.
Right.
And in addition to these 3, then there are a host of regional players who are utterly dominant in their cities. So Vijaya Diagnostics in Hyderabad, PH Diagnostics in Pune, Anand Diagnostics in Bangalore. These would be roughly between 100 to 500 crores revenue.
So दिलचस्प बात है, आपने बोला $10 billion इंडस्ट्री मतलब 85,000 करोड़, 85,000 करोड़ की इंडस्ट्री है, and yet the largest player Dr. Lal is only 2,200 crores, right?
Right.
So massive runway है, but given that the organized players are barely 20% the industry, who else who accounts for the rest of the 80% of the 85,000 crore industry?
So largest component of this industry is still the standalone diagnostic labs.
Achha, mom and pop lab.
Yes.
Okay.
So industry estimates are there are close to 3 lakh diagnostic labs, standalone diagnostics labs run in this country. So that is around 40% of the market. And the balance 40% is private hospitals plus government hospitals.
Right.
Which is mainly the IPD diagnostics. When you get admitted to a hospital, the tests which get done in the hospitals is...
So even if you assume a private or government hospitals ka 40% share, even if you assume that holds firm, there's plenty of space for the organized players to grow, because 20% जो उनका है, they can easily eat into the mom and pop का 40%. And that reminded me mom and pop का zikr. So I grew up in Delhi and I remember a routine in life. अगर बीमारी हुई, the first day I would not be sent to school, but PathLab testing नहीं होती थी क्योंकि खर्चा था. If my fever didn't go down in 24 hours, my mom would put me on a cycle rickshaw, take me to the local mom and pop lab, and वहाँ पे अगर पॉजिटिव टेस्ट हुआ, मतलब आइदर मलेरिया हुआ है या सम वाटरबोर्न इलनेस हुआ है, 2 हफ्ते बेड पे. So I still remember with dread my visits to the mom and pop lab in Delhi. Ironically, that mom and pop lab is long gone. Dr. Lal is the preeminent force in Delhi. So let's go back in time. शुरुआत कैसे हुई डॉक्टर लाल की? हिस्ट्री क्या है इस कंपनी की?
Yeah. So Dr. S.K. Lal founded this in the year 1949. It started as a small lab on Hanuman Road in Delhi.
Right.
And at that time it was known as Central Clinical Laboratory.
Right.
So this was the first private pathology of North India.
Right. It'll strike fear in anybody's heart. Central Clinical Laboratory. ठीक है, आगे बढ़िए.
Right. So he ran the lab for around 20 years, Dr. S.K. Lal.
Right.
After his death in 1977, Dr. Arvind Lal took over the lab.
Achha, he's the son.
He's the son.
Okay,
Dr. Arvind Lal is the son. At that time, Dr. Arvind Lal was a lecturer and he used to run a lab in the Armed Forces Medical College in Pune.
Famous AFMC Pune mein. Achha.
Right.
ठीक है.
But after his father's death, he shifted back to Delhi and he took over charge of the lab.
Right.
And that's how actually, the transformation of Dr. Lal PathLabs began. So not just...
So its modern avatar, it really begins in the late 70s, early 80s,
right,
with Arvind Lal taking charge.
So Arvind Lal actually is credited with a lot of firsts in the industry. So for example, under Dr. Arvind Lal, Dr. Lal became the first private lab in India to introduce a thyroid and a lipid profile test.
Wow.
Till then, there was no thyroid or lipid profile test done at any private lab in India. And Dr. Arvind Lal was a entrepreneurial person. He worked also a lot on the commercial aspects of the business. So I will give 2 examples. So one is actually he got something called as auto analyzer. So in those days, the testing used to be done by hands. Like you used to shake the test tube by your hand to get the results. So Dr. Arvind Lal imported a auto analyzer from the US at a cost of rupees 5 lakhs.
That era, that was massive money.
That was massive
money in the 80s.
And the story goes that the cost of this machine was higher than the cost of buying the land for their first Hanuman Road lab as well as the home they are staying. Wow. So it was a very big bet for Dr. Lal. So that was one example. The second example was he was the first one to computerize the laboratory operations.
Achha.
So sometime in mid 80s, a friend of Dr. Arvind Lal came back from the US after working in the software industry, and both of them actually wrote a software. They developed a software from the scratch to computerize the lab operations.
So जो lab management software हम बोलते हैं, these 2 gentlemen wrote it
at that time.
Amazing.
So from the time Dr. Arvind Lal took over the lab in 77 to mid 80s, it had actually grown from doing 50-60 patients a day to 1500 patients a day.
Right. But tell me something. I remember I used to take the DTC bus, the public bus I used to take to go home was from Connaught Place. Hanuman Mandir is near Connaught Place. That's central Delhi, right?
Yeah.
Dr. Lal spread out through the rest of Delhi. By the time I left Delhi in 91, Dr. Lal had already spread out.
Yeah.
How did they grow that business? What was the model that they used to spread out from Hanuman Mandir to the rest of the city?
Yeah. So Dr. Lal was also the first lab in India or probably world to introduce the concept of franchising.
Okay, explain this further. What does franchising mean?
So the story goes that there was a loyal patient of Dr. Lal. He used to travel 15 kilometers to Hanuman Road just to submit his blood sample, and then again in the evening to collect the report.
Right.
That's how they encountered the idea of a franchisee.
Right.
And this patient became the first.
So rather than coming up and down, आपके घर के पास हम franchisee लगा देंगे, or you can yourself become the franchisee, Mr. Patient. That way you save the patient the trouble of having to go up and down from suburban Delhi to central Delhi.
Correct. And it's a very small place, like 200, 300 square feet in area. That's all you need to set up a collection center.
So it becomes a collection center. The sample will thereafter be transported back to base, back to center, back to Hanuman Road.
Right.
But the patient is saved the extra hassle of going up and down.
Correct.
ठीक है, तो ये हो गया 80s में. Om Manchanda Saab, the gentleman who's still running Dr. Lal as a CEO, when did Om Manchanda arrive in the picture?
Yeah, so Om Manchanda actually arrived in the year 2005.
Okay.
So by the year 2005, Dr. Lal had became the largest lab in Delhi with close to 45 crores revenue.
Wow.
And of which 95% was from Delhi NCR. And it was a turning point in evolution of the firm, because at that point, Dr. Arvind Lal had to take the decision whether to run this as a Lala company or whether to bring talent and capital from outside and allow them to contribute
just
to the
be
firm's
clear,
growth.
by 2005, Arvind Lalji had been already running the firm for best part of 30 years. Right? So it's become a successful business. 30 साल पुरानी हो गई है, and it stands at an inflection point. Which way did Dr. Lal pivot?
He went the second way.
Achha.
That is, in 2005, they sold 26% of the firm to Westbridge Capital.
Wow.
At a valuation of 100 crores.
Amazing. So Westbridge, folks, is the firm which is behind the rise of Gukesh, our latest world chess champion. Westbridge Anand Chess Academy. They sponsored Gukesh's rise. But all the way back 22 years ago, 2005, Westbridge takes a, what did you say, 26%
stake at a valuation of 100 crores.
ठीक है. So Om comes in.
Om comes
in the wake of that.
Yeah. And Om is a ex-Unilever, ex-Ranbaxy guy. Did his MBA from IIM Ahmedabad. So he was, and actually before IIM, he is a vet doctor by qualification.
He's a veterinary doctor.
Yeah.
ठीक है. And Om comes in as the CEO, or what role does he have at the outset?
So at the outset, he comes in as a COO, Chief Operating Officer.
ठीक है. So पैसा आया, Westbridge का पैसा आया, Om Manchanda का operational skills आया. What was the impact to Dr. Lal?
Yeah. So in the next 5 years, from 2005 to 2010, Dr. Lal grew from a 45 crores business to 150 crores business. And this was all organic expansion in North India. So
all organic, you said?
All organic.
But 3x in 5 years on the back of organic growth.
Yeah. So they also did one small acquisition in Kanpur, which is of Dr. Paliwal's diagnostic center.
Achha.
But large part of the growth was all organic. So from Delhi, they went to Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, UP. That's how they started expanding.
So basically in those 5 years, right, where they are tripling the business, they're effectively growing revenues at close to 20%.
Yeah.
Right? In North India, this is a new concept. And so folks, the reason I'm dwelling on this is a pioneering company, right? Nobody else had organized the PathLab industry before until Dr. Lal thought about doing it. Nobody had taken private equity funding into the industry until Dr. Lal thought of doing it, and nobody had bought in an executive from a firm as prestigious as Unilever. And uske baad to hit the straps and go for growth, 5 साल में धंधा ट्रिपल 45 से 150 करोड़ 2010 तक. आगे क्या हुआ देवेन?
So in 2010 they again got in a new investor, TA Associates. This was at a valuation of almost 900 crores.
Achha.
So from 100 crores in 2005,
नौ गुना valuation
9 guna ho gaya in 5 years. And the same story continued, organic expansion, pushing deeper into North India. At the same time, they also started expanding into East India. So in the next 5 years, that is from 2010 to 15, the firm grew revenues at almost 30% CAGR.
Right.
From 150 crores, it went to 650 crores.
So growth pe further ramp aaya. Further ramp on growth. By the way, in Eastern India as well. So by birth, I'm a Bengali. So I'm very familiar with Dr. Lal in my town of birth in Kolkata as well. 2010 से 15 के बीच में acquisitions हुए कुछ?
smaller acquisitions, not the ones like Paliwal Diagnostics. These are like 1 to 5 crores revenue.
The reason I'm asking is Dr. Lal remains an acquisitive firm. I remember 2 years ago, then in Mumbai, they bought Suburban Diagnostics.
Yeah.
So it remains an acquisitive firm, and I guess this ability to find niche acquisitions in specific geographies remains a central skill that has come to the firm with Om's joining, right? Paliwal and Suburban are in a way all part of a growing story. So just to sort of now step back and summarize the pictures, today in 2025, how much of Dr. Lal's business is Delhi, how much is North India sans Delhi, and how much is the rest of the country?
So Delhi today is only 30% of the business, down from 95% when Om joined. North India, X of Delhi NCR, is close to 40 odd percent of the overall business, and the rest of it is then West India and South India and a little bit of international.
ठीक है. And I was doing a little bit of a maths while you were saying that. So 45 crores revenue पे 2005 में Om Manchanda joins. Today the revenue is nearly
2,200.
So almost 50x revenue growth in 20 years with Mr. Manchanda being there. And अगर हम revenue CAGR देखें last 10 साल का, revenue CAGR is 15%.
Yes.
Profit CAGR is 16%. But shareholder value CAGR, हम जैसे shareholders, 21% shareholder value CAGR. So terrific numbers there from a pioneering business. ठीक है, अब घुसते हैं थोड़ा सा बिजनेस मॉडल में घुसते हैं, बिकॉज इस प्रकार की कंपनी राइट जो कुछ नया करते हैं, पूरा पायनियरिंग कुछ करते हैं, उनका बिजनेस मॉडल समझने में बहुत मजा आता है. तो बिजनेस मॉडल समझाइए देवेन, कैसे काम करती है कंपनी?
So diagnostic business model in India is quite unique compared to what you see in other countries. So let's say for example in US, a lot of the patient does not have to pay for diagnostic test from his pocket.
That's right.
It's mostly come from the health plans the insurance companies. So let's say in US, the insurance companies negotiate with the PathLabs and drive the decision of which PathLab the patient will go to for getting his blood tested. But in India, it's completely different. It's the patient has to pay from his own pocket for a diagnostic test. That's why the competition is more on customer convenience, consumer experience, rather than negotiating a B2B contract with an insurance company.
Right. So it's almost like a retail business here, because आप ग्राहक को, customer को serve कर रहे हो. So the insurer is not paying you, the ultimate customer is paying you.
Correct.
ठीक है.
And that's where Dr. Lal pioneered the hub and spoke model of expansion in India. So if you remember, we discussed that in 1980s, Dr. Lal was the first one to give a franchisee in Delhi NCR. Yes, they built on the same model to build a hub and spoke network of labs.
So just to visualize this, the hub will be, say, in each city, there'll be a central big lab, the reference lab, I think they call it. And then spokes, थोड़ा समझाइए कितने layers of spokes हैं?
So there are just one layer of spoke, which is the collection center. So one big lab in the city.
Right. And the spokes are in every neighborhood, there'll be a collection center.
Correct. So it's actually not 2 layers, but 3 layers of hub and spoke layers in the hub and spoke model. Okay. So one is the hub lab.
Okay.
Right, which will be a very large lab, 50,000-60,000 square feet.
Okay.
Right, this has all types of tests, including the advanced test and basic test capability. Then there will be a host of satellite labs in suburbs of the city. And each satellite lab will be then supported by almost 20 to 25 collection centers in that area.
So you're saying a satellite lab which will have 25 collections and वहाँ पे basic test कर लेगा वो.
Right.
Basic blood test, urine test हो जाएगा.
Right.
And then the one notch up, the bigger lab in the city will have more, vitamin का test या protein का test, etc.
Right.
या cancer का test. Right. So that's how you're saying that. So there's a big lab in a city, छोटा labs in the suburbs, and then
the collection
for each छोटा lab there's 25 collection center.
Right.
The collection centers are the franchisee.
Are the franchisee.
ठीक है. तो थोड़ा समझाइए franchisee का economics क्या है? Does it make sense for someone who's listening to consider becoming a Dr. Lal franchisee?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So firstly, the franchisee is the collection center is a very small in space. It's almost 200 to 300 square feet of area.
Right. There is करीबन 6,000 collection center है Dr. Lal.
Almost 6,000 collection centers. and you need only 3 to 5 lakhs to set up a collection center.
अच्छा, basically fit out कर रहे हो आप.
Yeah, so basically equipments and some basic furniture.
हाँ जी, ठीक है.
A typical collection center in Delhi NCR would do annual sales of 70 to 80 lakhs.
बढ़िया, बढ़िया, excellent.
Right? Of this 70 to 80 lakhs, Dr. Lal will share 20% with the franchisee.
Right.
So roughly 15 to 16 lakhs is shared with the franchisee. That's the franchisee's income.
ठीक है.
And after removing some expenses and rent expenses, the franchisee is left with 8 to 10 lakhs.
तो basically 6 महीने में अपना कैपेक्स कवर हो गया. तो जो भी मेरा 3 से 4 लाख 3-4 लाख का मेरा जो फिट आउट का खर्चा था ऑन द बैक ऑफ करीबन 15-16 लाख ऑफ रेवेन्यूज आई एंड अप मेकिंग 8-10 लाख. तो 6 महीने में मेरा खर्चा कवर. उसके बाद हर साल 8-10 लाख मिल जाएगा. सो आई थिंक व्हेन आई रिटायर फ्रॉम मार्सेलस ये वाला धंधा मेरे लिए काफ़ी यूजफुल रहेगा. मेरा एटलीस्ट किताब का खरीदने का खर्चा 8-10 लाख कवर हो सकता है. बट लीविंग असाइड माई पोस्ट रिटायरमेंट कंपल्शंस, what sort of people become franchisees, Deven?
So somebody, mostly semi-retired people, because this business is the most active in the first 5 hours of the morning. So after 11 a.m. You don't have to do a lot of work, because then the sample goes to the lab and Dr. Lal has to do the work. So semi-retired people, or in some cases even the phlebotomists who come to your home to collect the blood, after doing job for let's say 3-4 years, once they get trained and get a pulse of the industry, they become a franchisee of Dr. Lal.
Good. So 6000 ऐसे collection centers हैं, and there's Dr. Lal has 280 labs, right? 280 labs जहाँ पे actual testing होती है. 5700 collection centers, and the really big labs, reference labs कितने हैं?
So there are 3 reference labs. One is in Delhi, one is in Kolkata, and the latest one is in Mumbai.
And that's where the really sophisticated tests get done.
Right.
ठीक है. तो अब the business model तो समझा दिया. पिकअप collection center है, lab है, and then mega lab है for the really complicated tests. इतना पैसा क्यों बनता है इस धंधे में? डॉक्टर लाल इतना पैसा कैसे बना पाता है?
Yeah. So one of the biggest reasons is that it's a very asset-light business model. So there are 3 things. The collection centers where you collect the samples, the franchisee is doing the capex.
So 3-4 लाख का जो खर्चा है वो franchisee भर रहा है.
Dr. Lal doesn't do any capex on the collection centers. Now you come to the lab. All the machines in the lab, 90% of those machines are on a rent basis.
मतलब आपको upfront, Dr. Lal doesn't have to pay upfront.
Doesn't have to pay any money upfront.
Wow, okay.
And this is the model with which this industry works in India as well as globally.
Achha.
So the large equipment makers in this industry are likes of Abbott or Beckman Coulter or Thermo Fisher. These guys give the machines to Dr. Lal on rent. So Dr. Lal has to pay on pay per use basis.
अच्छा, so अगर machine use नहीं हुआ तो खर्चा भी नहीं हुआ.
Yeah, there is a minimum guarantee of let's say 1000 samples,
right?
But beyond that, you only pay for number of tests you do from the machine,
right?
So no kharcha at the front end, no kharcha at the back end. The only kharcha that Dr. Lal does is in the corporate office and some bit of furniture and building while constructing their labs.
Which is pretty much. इनका ऑफिस तो मैंने headquarters गुड़गांव के distant suburbs में है, तो वो खर्चा भी खास नहीं है.
Correct.
So इसलिए return on capital जबरदस्त है इस तरह.
Right.
So just to sort of understand this concept a little bit more, कैपेक्स तो नहीं है क्योंकि मशीन का खर्चा मिनिमल है, भाड़े पे मशीन मिल रही है. वर्किंग कैपिटल, श्योरली वर्किंग कैपिटल लॉकअप होगा इस पे.
So there is no working capital because it's a B2C business. The patient actually pays upfront for the test, and Dr. Lal pays the equipment maker after 20 days or 30 days.
और जो केमिकल खरीदते हैं वो reagent वगैरह,
that's also you have to pay it after 20 to 30 days.
अच्छा, because the suppliers are told कि बॉस अगर धंधा चाहिए तो 25 दिन बाद पैसा मिलेगा.
And you don't need a lot of inventory of the chemicals which are required.
So this is a money machine par excellence. So 2200 crore का revenue, मानिए 30% 25 से 30% ऑपरेटिंग मार्जिन,
right?
तो साल में 700 करोड़ का प्रॉफिट बन के निकल रहा है, ऑपरेटिंग प्रॉफिट निकल रहा है. कैपिटल एम्प्लॉयड भी उतना ही होगा शायद.
करेक्ट,
राइट? तो 100% रिटर्न ऑन कैपिटल प्रति वर्ष मनी मशीन बनाया है. विच इज वाई फोक्स ये रिटर्न, इसका रिटर्न मैट्रिक्स, कंपनी की कंपाउंडिंग क्षमता इतनी ज़्यादा है क्योंकि धुआंधार पैसा बनता है इसमें हर साल. 700 करोड़, अनबिलीवेबल रिटर्न मैट्रिक्स. एंड ऑल्दो कॉम्पिटिशन इंटेंस है, देवेन आपने बोला कॉम्पिटिशन इंटेंस है, प्राइस हाइक सिर्फ 1 से 2% ले सकती है डॉक्टर लाल. वाई हैवंट वी सीन another company operating at the scale of Dr. Lal? Barriers kya hai? Why isn't it easy to build another Dr. Lal?
Yeah. So, if you talk of barriers to entry, then there are no barriers to entry in this industry because anybody with a few lakh of rupees can set up a doctor.
हाँ जी, बिल्कुल वही तो मैं सोचता हूँ कि कोई भी शुरू हो सकता है. How come कोई और Dr. Lal बन
But
नहीं
it's super difficult to scale this business.
I see. क्या वजह है?
One of the biggest reasons is the trust that you have to develop with the doctors as well as the patients. It takes decades to develop that trust, which you build on the back of quality, your service levels. For example, if you see all the largest labs in India, Dr. Lal, Metropolis, Vijaya, almost all of them are more than 50 years old in existence.
So basically, bharosa होना चाहिए, otherwise the test means nothing.
Correct. And without the bharosa, if you go to the doctor, then sadly in India, the doctor will take a commission from the path lab.
Okay. So for a new path lab, inevitably doctor बोलेगा boss तेरे को मैं धंधा क्यों दूँ?
Correct.
मेरे लिए क्या है? And therefore that becomes a challenge to scaling up.
Yeah.
Vice versa, the patient is also skeptical.
Right.
कि नया आया है, पता नहीं किसको खिला के धंधा ला रहा है.
Right.
And the patient therefore wants to go with a reliable brand. तो ठीक है, brand as a barrier to entry तो समझ गए. और किस वजह से scaling tough है?
Second is what we discussed, right? The hub and spoke model. While on paper it sounds very simple, it is very operationally challenging to run this hub and spoke network.
Explain why.
Yeah, so it's almost like a logistics business. Think of the number of steps in this entire journey. A phlebotomist comes to your home to collect a sample, then he goes back to the collection center,
drops it there.
The collection center then sends it to a point where all the samples in the area gets aggregated.
Okay.
And then those samples are sent to the reference lab or the satellite lab for testing.
Okay.
Once the sample enters the lab, again you have to place it in a machine, and this has to be completely error free because एक sample भी यहाँ का वहाँ हो गया, it can be a life or death situation for the patient.
ठीक है, and you're doing it on millions of samples.
On millions of samples.
ठीक है, so bharosa is a barrier to scaling up. Logistical trickiness is a barrier to scaling up. और क्या है?
Third is actually Dr. Lal's own capability that they always ended up investing in technology ahead of time. Because this is such an operationally challenging business, to ensure that you don't face any hiccups in scalability, you have to prepare upfront. And that's where right from the 1980s when Dr. Arvind Lal invested in the auto analyzer machine or computerizing the lab, they have been very consistent with investing in software or in technology to keep growing without facing any hiccups.
So I बोल रहा हूँ that ahead of the curve machinery investment, it's tricky because you need to know कौन से चीज में पैसा लगाना है. There's hundreds of things you can invest in. The Western path lab models, the Western diagnostics models clearly have committed far more capital to it. So there's a whole bunch of toys you can invest in. Which one to invest in, how to use it is a non-trivial problem.
Correct.
ठीक है, remarkable. Let's get into the capital allocation because हर साल, from the sounds of it, हर साल 500, 600, 700 करोड़ इस धंधे से प्रोड्यूस हो रहा है, जनरेट हो रहा है. वो पैसा कैसे इस्तेमाल होता है?
So half of it, almost more than half of it, close to 55%, Dr. Lal pays out as dividend.
क्या बात है?
Because as we discussed, there are no capital reinvestment needs to grow this business.
And the dividend yield adds to shareholders like us, our returns. ठीक है?
Right.
Okay.
The balance 45% they retain on their balance sheet to do inorganic acquisitions.
ठीक है.
So for example, that's how over the 10 years between 2012 to 2020 till COVID, they accumulated almost 1,000 crores on their balance sheet.
Okay.
And which they used to acquire Suburban Diagnostics.
950 crore पे Suburban खरीदा.
Correct.
ठीक है. तो ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड कैसी है डॉक्टर लाल की? If you look at so you're saying आधा पैसा जो जनरेट होता है आधा तो डिविडेंड में चला गया, 55% डिविडेंड में चला गया.
Right.
I guess a little bit of that also goes to pay tax.
Yeah.
Right. So हर साल करीबन 30-40% of capital employed रह जा रहा है. And they're using that for acquisitions.
Yeah.
Have they generated shareholder value with acquisitions, Deven?
So in the last 15 to 20 years, Dr. Lal has done close to 20 small and big acquisitions.
Okay, pretty much one a year.
Yeah.
Pretty much
the key ones were the one in Kanpur, which was the first one. Then they acquired a lab in Indore, which is also quite sizable, close to 20-30 crores in revenue. The biggest acquisition was Suburban Diagnostics in middle of COVID at 950 crores. So that has been their biggest acquisition. Although most acquisitions have been beneficial, the Suburban one has not been the I would say the best acquisition, or has not created value for shareholders.
Because पैसा बहुत दे दिया उन्होंने.
पैसा बहुत दे दिया because they acquired the company in peak of COVID. So valuations of all the PathLabs were at peak.
अरोड़ा साहब, डॉक्टर अरोड़ा सबर्बन ने अपना सारा कोविड का रेवेन्यू दिखा के एग्जिट मल्टीपल प्राप्त किया अच्छा सा.
Right.
Given that this aspect, right? Dr. Lal generates super cash flow. I'm sure Metropolis does the same.
Yeah.
So what will be the result of that? सारे valuation multiples आसमान में चढ़ जाएंगे for the छोटा labs?
Yeah. So that's one of the key risks of this business. See, what happens is, to grow this business organically is very difficult. I mean, Dr. Lal did it in North India because Delhi was a medical hub, so everyone in North India was aware of the brand. So that's how you penetrated deeper into North. East India was also relatively easy because there was no strong incumbent in East. So Dr. Lal could organically expand into East.
Suraksha is a smaller player in Eastern India. ठीक है.
But doing it in West and South, which are much larger markets than North and East, is very difficult.
And West and South have established local players who are जमे हुए there.
Yeah. So Metropolis in Mumbai. Vijaya
Therefore, for Dr. Lal to
Hyderabad.
crack West and South, West तो चलो hopefully हो गया है by buying Suburban, but to crack South, they'll need to buy.
They will need to buy.
And given that others also want to buy,
Yeah.
you're saying valuation multiples are bound to be rich.
Bound to be high.
So in a way, let's hope from a shareholder's perspective, for stock market में मंदी आए, valuations थोड़ा नीचे जाए,
Right.
जिससे डॉक्टर लाल को अपना surplus cash वाजिब दाम में लगाने को मिले. Leaving aside expensive acquisitions, what else are the risks facing Dr. Lal?
So, one of the biggest risks is competition from hospitals and integrated diagnostic models. So hospitals is straightforward, but I will explain integrated model. So integrated model is one where you have pathology and radiology under the same roof.
अच्छा, डॉक्टर लाल के पास पैथ और रेडियो दोनों नहीं है, सिर्फ पैथ
सिर्फ path है.
ठीक है.
For example, Vijaya Diagnostics in Hyderabad, they do path plus radio.
अच्छा, क्या फायदा होता है पैथ प्लस रेडियो दोनों करने
So
का?
roughly 20% of all prescriptions have a pathology test as well as a radiology
I
test.
see, okay.
So from a customer point of view, it's much convenient to go to an integrated setup.
झंझट कम है.
झंझट कम है.
ठीक है.
So these models are expanding in India. At the same time, hospitals are expanding at a very rapid pace. So close to 30,000 new beds will get added in the next 5 years across the hospital industry.
Right.
And hospitals also focus on OPD diagnostics.
Because पैसा बहुत बनता है इस पे.
Correct. So whenever you, let's say, go to a hospital, the hospital will try to cross-sell you diagnostics.
हाँ, वो तो
within the
guaranteed होता है.
hospital.
मेरा चेहरा देख के ही एक टेस्ट लिख देते हैं वो.
Correct.
Right. And नीचे जाते हैं हॉस्पिटल के टिपिकली बेसमेंट में टेस्टिंग होती है, and you're saying it's very high margin.
Yeah.
So the hospitals will keep trying to gnaw away share from the
Yeah.
specialist diagnostic players.
Yeah.
So competitive intensity आप बोल रहे हो दो प्रकार की है, एक तो acquisitions के लिए लड़ाई, and दूसरा ये private hospitals who are going to add, you said 30,000 beds.
Yeah.
Right. Private hospitals will keep adding beds. They'll keep attacking the PathLab का OPD business, outpatient का business.
That's where we have to see how Dr. Lal, does a better job at convincing the customer to come to Dr. Lal rather than giving sample in the hospital.
Right. What I find interesting about this is, in a country where say Nifty की earnings growth केवल over long periods of time, Nifty earnings growth is around 10-11%. Nifty trade करती है 21-22 times पे.
Yeah.
Nifty की return on capital is barely 14-15%. Dr. Lal's return on capital is 2x that of the Nifty.
Yeah.
And it trades at 50 times forward.
Yeah.
So मेरे ख्याल से fair value on a forward PE basis, fair value for Dr. Lal is probably going to be not so much 50, closer to 40 के आसपास.
Yeah.
So share price उस हद तक कुछ हद तक overvalued है because PE multiple juiced up by the bull run है.
Correct.
Which is also why acquisitions are
difficult
because पूरा माहौल अभी थोड़ा तेजी का है. So my reading is these guys are smart people. They'll wait for the froth to ebb क्योंकि इनकी कैश फ्लो तो बरकरार रहेगी, राइट? दे आर मेकिंग कैश फ्लो बिकॉज पीपल आर फॉलोइंग इल, कंट्रीज एजिंग, क्रॉनिक बीमारी हो रही है, सो इनकी कैश फ्लो बरकरार रहेगी. देयर कैश फ्लोज आर नॉट गोना बी सिक्लिकल, उनकी कैश फ्लो स्ट्रक्चरल होगी. बट अगर वैल्यूएशंस कम ऑफ करे, विच आई थिंक इज इनएविटेबल, आई थिंक वी गोना हैव अ 2 to 3 years ऑफ इकोनॉमिक डाउनटर्न इन आवर कंट्री. जब वो वैल्यूएशन नीचे आएगा, आई एम होपिंग ओम मनचंदा एंड डॉक्टर लाल प्रेस द ट्रिगर एंड गो बिग ऑन South India. For people like us who enjoy learning about business models, I think I've really enjoyed understanding the Dr. Lal model. If I want to learn more about Dr. Lal, if those who are listening want to understand Dr. Lal better, क्या पढ़ना चाहिए?
So one is, of course, you can read the annual reports of the firm for the last 10 years. Those are quite
useful and free of charge.
Yeah, and free of charge. Second, Dr. Arvind Lal has written a book called The Corporate Yogi.
Right.
So in that, few chapters are dedicated to the Dr. Lal story, how he built Dr. Lal step by step.
And folks, read the book Corporate Yogi. Dramatic kitab hai. It has one of the most dramatic openings I've ever read in a corporate biography. पूरा हिल जाता है इंसान. और क्या पढ़ सकते हैं?
And third is on Marcellus's YouTube channel. In peak of COVID, we had done an interview with Dr. Om Manchanda, where he explained the business model and how the industry has evolved. So it's a 1 hour long podcast, but it's quite resourceful to understand.
I found Om to be one of the finest thinkers about business strategy and how to structure a business. So if you have time, just go to marcellus.in or just Google Marcellus, Om Manchanda, Dr. Lal PathLabs and stick my name in, and आपको मिल जाएगा वो वाला podcast where Om talks about how he has built Dr. Lal. Folks, I hope you have enjoyed our view on Dr. Lal and why it's such a meaningful part of our portfolios. We find it a fascinating business, not just because of the money it's made for us, but because of the business acumen, the business chops that Dr. Lal and Om Manchanda have demonstrated over the last 20 years in creating and pioneering a completely new type of business in our country. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you.